Welcome back. Well, it's been some time since we set our fermentation vat up. What's happened since we last talked? This took about 5 days for all the sugar to be used up and converted to alcohol, and I verified that with the specific gravity. Remember, we were measuring it with our little device in the vat and then confirmed it with the good old manual meter. What we have in here is kind of like wheat beer, and if I go in and have a sniff, it's kind of got a beery smell to it. So that's probably, I don't know, 11, 12, 13% alcohol now, and we want to get all that alcohol out so we can make gin. After it finished fermenting, took all the heat away and left it for a couple of days, and it just naturally, all the sediment in it just slowly settles down, and you can actually see on the bottom of the vat here, there's this layer of sediment, and that's going to stay in there. We're now going to decant that off and put it in our still, which is sitting over here. Here we are all set up, but we're going to just take this off and we're going to fill that up. So we're going to handy jug, pop the lid so that we don't get a vapor lock. There's a little bit of sediment that was just stuck in the tap. We'll get rid of that. So this is all we're going to do. We'll decant this off and we'll put it in our still. This will take me, I don't know, 10 minutes or so. And we're back, and we've now transferred all our liquid from the fermentation vat into the still, and we've switched our still on. That's going to take maybe 40-45 minutes to heat up, and at this stage we've got all the water turned off, and we'll monitor this manually. I'll be able to feel the heat rising up here, and when the top of the condenser tube, this is what this is, starts to get warm, then we'll turn our water on. But that gives us a bit of time to talk about the setup. This is our T500 still. It's a 23 litre reflux still, and it's pretty good at making neutral spirit. Everything's plugged into our surge protector, safety first. A little bit of extra kit here is this blue device here is a water flow regulator. Basically, it's a pump with a little float in it. We've got that connected to our water supply, and here our water supply is a hose that runs out the kitchen to the tap. That's cooling water, so it doesn't need to be any better quality than hose water. If you had a suitable faucet on your sink, you could just use your sink tap, but we don't. So when we turn the water on, the water flow comes in here, and that float will control the amount of water being sent to the still. And there's a little needle valve on here that we can use to control the amount of cooling water we send. The reason that's important is that is how we control the still. So what happens in here, there's an element in the bottom that heats the liquid up, and in here we've just got our distillate, plus we've got a little bit of distilling conditioner, which is just it's an anti-foaming agent, and what it does is it breaks up the surface tension of the water and controls that boiling motion. We've also got some, what they call, they're little ceramic saddles that sit in the still, and they also control the boiling process so that we don't get what's called puking, where you get a surge of distillate up here. Alcohol boils at a lower temperature than water. So what we want to do is control that boiling process so that we're getting the alcohol going up. As it turns to vapor, it goes up the tube, up the column. That column is packed with up to probably about there with stainless steel saddles, and at the top it's packed with copper saddles, and the column itself is made of copper. Why is that important? Well, the copper removes sulfites from the distillate, and anyone who reacts badly to sort of cheap wine, it's those sulfites that are giving you the headaches. As the vapor goes up the column, there's an outer sheath that water goes in, and that cools it. So the vapor goes up the column, condenses back into liquid and starts dropping down, and the liquid dropping back down reacts with the vapor going up. It's pulling all the impurities out of it. So by the time we get stuff coming out the top, it's hopefully pretty much all alcohol. So it comes out the top and it comes down. This is our condenser, which also has water flowing through it. This turns the alcohol vapor back into liquid and it comes out here. We monitor it. There's a little temperature probe here on the outlet. This is a little bit different with this still to others. It measures the water outlet temperature, and we've got a thermometer here. But ultimately, we are looking for a certain level of output. What people talk about, the drip drip spurt. So you get drip drip dribble, and that's when the still's running perfectly. As this heats up, you're going to get the lightest alcohols coming off first, and those are things like methanol and acetones. Those are the horrible things. Methanol in enough volume will do you damage, but there isn't enough methanol in there to do any serious damage here. It will give you a headache and it doesn't taste very nice. So what we'll do, the first little amount that comes off our still, probably about 200 ml, we will collect. You can use it as firelighters, cleaning liquid, hand sanitizer, but whatever you do, don't drink it. And then once we've done that, everything else coming off is the good stuff, hopefully. That's enough talking for now. We'll see you back here in 40 odd minutes when everything's starting to happen. And we're back again. Our still is now up to temp. I can feel that. We've got our water flow going and running to the output. We have taken off the first 100 mils, and that is all our methanol. And the smell's pretty nasty. It smells like sort of thing you'd find in a lab, really. Yeah, as I said, hand sanitizer, cleaner. It is 90+% alcohol, so be careful what you do with it. We don't have any open flames around here. And we're now set up and we're now collecting the good stuff. While I'm monitoring the temperature, it's not my guiding principle. What I'm looking for is this here. So we're getting drip, 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 spurt, and that's a good flow. That's it. And we'll just keep monitoring that. See you in a few hours. Right, here we are. We've been running for about three and a half hours now, and we are just about done. I've added in a little extra device here. This thing is called a parrot, and it allows me, because there's an alcohol meter here on the top of it, allows me to measure the alcohol percentage as the distillate comes off. It's just starting to drop below 90% now, so we're getting more water coming through. We're almost out of distillate coming out, so time to shut things down. We've got a good amount of product come off on top of what's in here. We'll shut it down, work out how much we've got. Here's our final product. We've ended up with 2.4 litres of alcohol, and we've done a quick measurement, and it's come out at 91% alcohol. It's a little bit cool tonight, and I have measured the temperature and adjusted the alcohol percentage based on that. So our final product is about 93% alcohol by volume. The only thing left to do is to what we call proof it down. Basically, we add water, and I've got a lovely supply from the local aquifer, so it's nice pure water. We'll proof that down. If you wanted to just make straight vodka that you're going to drink, probably proof it down to about 40%, in which case we'd add almost 3.2 litres of water to bring that down to 40%, and we'd end up with about 5.5 litres of vodka. I'm going to proof it down to about 50%, so I'll add a little over 2 litres of water, because I'm going to reuse this and put it through the pot still and make gin out of it, and that will be our next video. If we go back to our previous video looking at the compound gin, you could also use this for making compound gin, and that's a lot cheaper way to do it. And since we're talking about money, I've done some quick calculations. It cost me a little under $14, that's $14, to make this, all the products that went into it. So if we turn this into 40% vodka, it works out to about $2.50 a litre for your vodka. A pretty good way to go. That's us for now, and we'll see you next time when I've got my other little still out and we'll be making gin. Thanks for now. Gin is winners.